At some point, you have to stop waiting for the perfect timing, the right mood, or a new year. Because the truth is, your life doesn't change on a calendar. It changes when you do. So if the past 6 months weren't what you hoped for, good. That means that there's room to reset, realign, and rewrite the story. This is your moment. So let's start fresh, right here, right now. I cannot believe that I'm saying this right now, but we are halfway through the year. That is crazy to me. I feel like it has just completely flown by. But maybe the first 6 months didn't go as planned, or maybe they did, but you still feel stuck. Maybe you had big goals, but life just got messy, or you got distracted, you got busy, or maybe you're just not where you thought that you would be at this point in the year, and it's weighing on you. But here's the thing that you need to realize, if that is how you're feeling, is that you don't need another Monday, you don't need a new month, and you definitely don't need anybody's permission to change your life. You just have to decide that you're done settling for anything less than the vision that you have in your head. This is your halfway point wake-up call, okay? There's still so much time left in the year, so do not get down and out just because you're not where you thought you would be at this point. You still have 6 entire months to shift your energy, your mindset, your routines, and just your overall vibration. And whenever you do that, life has to meet you at that frequency. So no, it is not too late. You are not behind. You are right on time. And your second half of the year is about to look very, very different. In this video, I'm going to walk you step by step on how to reset your goals, your energy, your mindset, and that way you can become an energetic match for the life that you actually want. By December, you're going to be looking back at this moment and be so insanely proud of yourself that you made the decision to stop settling for less. You raise your standards and you end up becoming that version of you that you can see in your head. You just haven't quite been able to get to or quite yet. And if you follow the steps in this video, there's no way that you won't get to that version of yourself. But before we get into anything, I just want you to take a deep breath, because no matter when you're watching this video, whether it's the middle of the year, beginning, end, middle, I don't care. Whenever you're watching this, I want you to realize that you have all the time that you need to become that person that you want to be and to create the life that you want to create. But you have to take your power back, and you have to realize that your reality is a byproduct of all the little decisions that you make, which can honestly be a little scary to admit, but it's also freeing because it puts it back in your control. It's just like Tony Robbins says, it's in your moment of decision that your destiny is shaped. Because it's not your circumstances that define your future, it's the decisions that you make in spite of those circumstances, which means that your power doesn't come from having everything figured out. It doesn't come from a perfect routine or waiting for motivation to start. Your power comes from deciding. That's it. To no longer settle, to no longer abandon yourself, and to no longer play it small just because it's what's comfortable. And once you realize that your future is not a matter of luck, but of choice, it literally shifts everything. You stop feeling so stuck because you actually remember that it's in your control. You're the one driving this thing, okay? No one else is in the driver's seat of your life but you. You don't need to wait for permission. You don't need to wait for clarity or even the perfect moment, because the moment whenever you decide, that is whenever you start to get momentum. So if the first half of the year felt messy, unclear, off track, make this the moment right now, this very second, that you decide that the second half will be absolutely different. And then let that decision guide every single action you take from this moment on. I feel like that is the biggest thing that I can honestly say in any kind of reset or just a journey of achieving your goals, is really just taking that power back. Because if you give that power of your decision away to anything or anyone else, you have lost. That mindset shift has honestly been the biggest one that I feel like I've made, because it helps me realize that no matter what my situation is, or no matter what I've done or how I've felt, I've made the decision to get to that outcome. So if you know that all you have to do is make that choice, it puts so much power, it puts all the power back into your hands. So we are starting today's mid-year reset with a little tidy. If you've seen any of my videos before, you will know that if my environment is a mess or is chaotic, I most likely am too. I've actually been doing really good. I'm very proud of myself because I've been cleaning as I go recently, which has been very, very helpful. I highly recommend doing that. But there's just a couple spaces that I use day in and day out, and they are just dumping grounds. And I'm talking about some drawers that I need to organize a little bit. So we're going to start with that. I prefer to really start all of my resets with resetting my space because it just helps me get really focused. It minimizes my distractions so I can fully focus on whatever else I'm doing with setting goals or just planning. Just helps me feel a lot better. I literally can't focus if I'm in a messy space. It's just not possible. I can't do it. So my bathroom drawer where I keep my makeup every single day, I open that drawer so many times a day, whether it's doing my hair, my contacts, putting on makeup, whatever it is, I open it all the time and it has just become so chaotic. Plus, I just really love taking care of my space. I grew up in an older home and it was not in the best shape at all. We actually had our bathroom, it didn't have any drywall or anything in it. So all you could see was the pipes on the walls and we didn't have any flooring. So it was just literally sheets of plywood on the floor. And regardless of that condition of that home, my mom busted her behind to make sure it was as clean as it could be. And she made it as cozy as she possibly could. And I've just really taken that into my adulthood and into the space that I have now, which I'm so grateful for and have worked so hard for. I just want to take care of it and do exactly what she did and just show it that love and that gratitude. So that's another big reason I love to reset my space before doing anything with goals or anything with reflecting or anything like that. Yeah, we're gonna start with that drawer and then we're going to try out a protein coffee recipe that I found on TikTok. I hope it's good. I feel like it's gonna be a good little treat to have today. So fingers crossed it actually comes out well, but we will see in just a bit. So let's get this place feeling clean, feeling fresh. By the way, if you're looking for any kind of affordable workout sets, this one I just got off of Amazon and I'm obsessed. It is so comfortable. It's just some cute little shorts. It's actually 3 pieces. There's a sports bra underneath that matches. And it's so comfy. It's like a dry fit and I think it was like $30, but you get 3 pieces with it. So I will link this down below. It came in a whole bunch of different colors, but I just love this lilac color. I think it's super cute. But let's go ahead. Let's get to tidying and organizing because y'all, I'm telling you, this is the moment you're gonna look back on in December and be like, okay, that was the point in 2025 when everything changed. I became that girl and I have created the life that I wanted because of the decision I made in that moment. So let's get tidying, let's get organizing so we can get our iced coffee. This is the infamous drawer of chaos and I have used it as a dumping ground. And while this is not a huge reorganization project, I wanted to include it because it is something that I use every day. So I want it to be organized because why would we make things harder on ourselves? We shouldn't. I'm going to tackle this and probably my nightstand drawer because drawers for me are like the #1 thing to get messy. So we are going to tackle those 2 things, do our little daily tidy session and just feel refreshed. But I'm gonna set my timer for 10 minutes for this drawer. And the reason it's so important for me to set this is because for one, it's just a habit that I do, but I also want you to see that like you can refresh your space and not have to spend hours and hours reorganizing and decluttering. And while that might feel great, it may not be practical for you to do right now, and that is totally okay. So set your timer for 10 minutes. I can link this timer down below if you like. I prefer to use this instead of my phone. So set your timer for 10-15 minutes, however long you have. Go to one designated spot and designate that time to that. And I promise you, you will get so much more done than what you realize. Let's tackle her. Let's get her feeling her best self for the second half of the year and continue our reset. So let's go ahead and let's get our timer started. I need to use this. I don't even know why it's just in here. Oh, look at all the eyebrow pencils. I did not know I had these. That is good. You never know what you're gonna find whenever you declutter something. Okay, that took me about 5 minutes to clear that out, so let's see if we can wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. Ooh, why do I have so many hairs in here? Ew. Oh, look at that. It's trash. We are done. She looks so much better. Oh my gosh. And we still have about 2 minutes to spare, but literally that's how much stuff was in here that did not need to be in here. It looks so much more organized. So I just have my glasses and contacts here, makeup, extra eyebrow pencils. This really cool thing, I have allergies horribly. I got this off TikTok shop. It's like a, I don't know why my camera won't focus on it. It's a boom boom stick, but it's like, it won't focus, but it's made with essential oils to help you open up your sinuses without chemicals and stuff. And then floss, scissors, clippers, some bracelets, earrings, and then my derma So yeah, I feel so much better already. Holy moly. So this is the other problem child. So let's get this one organized too, because I throw so much in here, as you can tell. Like, I even have a camera in here. You know you're a content creator if you just have a camera randomly in your nightstand. What the heck? If you're a cat parent, you know you have little lasers everywhere because it's just, they love to play with the red dot. They love the red dot. So we try to play it every morning. It's good exercise for them. So I always keep it in my nightstand. And then this is actually a very, very special picture. So this is my dad and I whenever I was probably 5 years old in this picture. He was a really, really big fisherman. So he had just come back from fishing offshore and he came home and he was really proud of what he caught. So he took a picture with me, and this is like my favorite little nightgown whenever I was little. And the glass is actually from a frame that he had. He passed in 2021, so the frame that he had this picture in broke. So I kept the glass from it because it's just one of the last things that he had, and it's just a very, very special picture. It's even printed like on computer paper. It's a little thicker than computer paper, but it's not like an actual picture, but it's just really special. So I keep it in that spot in my nightstand, in my drawer, so I can see it every time I open it, just because I miss him so much and it makes me really happy. So I'm gonna wipe out the drawer and then put it right back there. You can probably hear Katie screaming. She's thinking it's treat time. You are miscalculated on your time, Katie. This is so much better and way more practical. So I just put my journals and my book that I'm reading there. One pen for my journals, obviously. Some lip balm, and then we only needed these remotes here. So put those there. Our laser toy, my picture, and then my sleeping mask. So this is way, way better. And there was so much in here that did not need to be in here. But this took me less than 10 minutes as well, which again, just showing you, you don't need a ton of time to refresh your space. This turned into quite the cozy day for a reset. Everything feels so refreshed. All I did was just wipe down a few surfaces and it honestly made the biggest difference. Like, I understand drawers aren't something that you just walk into a room and see, but even if you take those few minutes to organize something like your pantry, maybe like your console table where your TV sits, your coffee table if it has like an under part storage area, like anything like that, just knowing that even though that area isn't visible, but knowing that it's clean and organized, it just makes a world of a difference. So that was my whole goal with that, and I feel it, okay? I feel nice, I feel refreshed, and I am so excited to plan for the second half of the year. But before we do, I really want to try this protein coffee recipe that I found on TikTok. I have my ingredients right here, so fingers crossed it actually comes out good. I've had it in my saved for probably like a week or two, but I've been waiting to try it, and today's the day. Today is the day, and it has been pouring outside, as you saw. I am so cold, so I grabbed my cardigan, and I kind of thought about making this a hot coffee, but I just want to try it iced. So I bundled up in my sweater. We'll get a cozy blanket when it comes time to plan. But what a great day to do a mid-year reset. I'm looking at it just pouring right now. And we have a window cracked so I can hear it, and it just sounds so peaceful. So anyway, if you want to make this coffee too, if it comes out well, this is what you'll need. So I have a protein powder. This one is vanilla. It's just by Orgain. So we're going to use protein powder. The next thing you'll need is any kind of coffee creamer. So this is the one she actually used in her TikTok, and I use this for like my treat coffees instead of my superfood creamer. So this one is the Chobani cookie dough creamer. I love this one. It tastes so good, and it's not too sweet. I really enjoy it. So that is what I have. And then last but not least is milk. So I have the Fairlife milk here because 1 cup of this is 13 grams of protein, which is insane, and only 80 calories. I totally am aware of the lawsuits against this company right now. I don't know another protein milk. If you have any other suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. But I bought this before I even knew about that, just because I've used it for years. It's what we got, so that's what we're gonna use. I also went ahead and brewed some coffee and put it in the fridge just to get it nice and cool. You can use any kind of cold brew if you want to make this iced. I assume you can just make this hot too. I'm not sure how that would come out. I feel like it would be pretty good, but we're just gonna go iced today. Those are all the things you're gonna need. So let's give this a whirl and see how this goes. I do also have my frother too, so that's just what she had in the TikTok. But let's get to it, because I'm so ready for some caffeine.
I don't think about it. About you. I don't know who I'd be. But everything we built just turned to broken leaves. I don't think about it.
That made so much coffee. Not that I'm complaining about a lot of coffee. This is probably borderline meal replacement. It's a good amount of coffee. I'm very, very excited to try it. I hope it's good. I'm so nervous. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh. That is really good. I will put the recipe on the screen. It was a win, and I'm so glad because I've been really excited to try it. We are going to go ahead and move into our next step of our mid-year reset, which is going to be our reflection. Before we can decide where else we want to go this year, we have got to look at the first 6 months. We are so quick as humans to just move on to the next thing and just go, go, go. But you really do need to stop and think about where you have been and where you currently are and where exactly it is you want to go. Because by looking at the previous 6 months, you're going to be able to see, okay, well, what worked? What didn't work? And really analyze the things that you want to take with you into the second part of the year and what you want to leave in the first half. It's going to be really hard to move forward in your future with confidence if you're not honest with yourself about the past. Which Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. I listen to him so much, I swear. If you do not listen to Tony Robbins, you absolutely should. The man is life-changing, okay? But he says that our lives are shaped by our decisions, and our decisions are shaped by our beliefs. If you're not seeing the results that you want, it's not that your potential is lacking, but it's the story that you've been telling yourself. Reflection is going to help you see any patterns, any places where your energy is leaking, and even self-sabotage. And while you'll see those negative things, it's also going to highlight those moments of magic when things just seem to work and everything clicked. Plus, I'm sure if I asked you right now what you've done so far this year, your mind's probably going to go blank and you're going to have no idea what you've done. Go ahead, grab your journal, get a pen, or just screenshot these questions and go and do your journaling whenever you're ready. But these are the 5 questions that I really like to ask myself, and that will give the most clarity possible to help you understand what you need to do moving forward so that you can actually get to that vision that you want so badly. The first question is, what moments made me feel so proud this year? And what was the common thread within those? You need to acknowledge your wins because as humans, for some reason, we just tend to remember all the negative things. At least that's how I feel like whenever I've talked to people, a lot of people remember like negative experiences really standing out in their heads versus more positive experiences, which is very weird that we're wired that way, but we are. And it's important to use this question to really think about the good things that happened this year, because no matter what, even if you're not where you want to be, there's something you're proud of this year. Second question, what goals and intentions fell off and why? So here we need to shine a light on these limiting beliefs and the lack of self-trust that we have seemed to have towards particular goals and intentions for ourselves. And if you can answer this question honestly, and you can overcome these issues that you seem to have recurring, and these are probably patterns that you've had for a long time, if you can overcome these, you are unstoppable. There is nothing standing in your way but yourself. This question to me is probably one of the most important because it helps you to really face those things that you have maybe subconsciously been shoving under the rug. We can't do that anymore. If you really want to be that girl, that guy, that version that you think of that has the fit body, the confidence, and the career of your dreams, they would shine a light on these things. They would not let these things go unseen, unscathed anymore. The next question is, what habits, thoughts, and patterns held me back, and what would the ideal version of myself do differently? We're back to our decisions. This is key because whenever you are faced with these thoughts and these patterns and whatever it is that's holding you back, you have to handle those particular obstacles in the way that your ideal self would handle them and not the way that your past self would handle them. If you can really handle every situation and every problem in the way that that version of you want to be would handle them, you will collapse the gap between who you are now and where you want to be. Where did I surprise myself and grow in ways I didn't expect? Kind of like our first question, but this is something that I want you to think of that you were not expecting, and you were almost probably forced to grow into this way, and it's something that you've had to learn, basically. Because I feel like I've still been learning lessons that have been like the universe has been just like screaming at me to learn these lessons, and I'm just like la 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 la. That's how it feels. And I have finally been like, okay, fine, I hear you, girl, I'm listening. We're going to implement moving forward. So think about something like that for you that has happened this year. Again, even if it's really small, it's something, it's a step forward, and it's worth acknowledging because it's still growth. And your fifth question is, if this next chapter of your life was titled The Level Up, what would the storyline be? And who would I be becoming? So this is really going to give you clarity for where it is you want to go. You understand at this point in your reflection of what you want to leave and what you want to bring with you. So now, what do you want to make of that? Who do you want to be? Where do you want to be? And I want you to get as specific as you can, because that's really going to help you embody this version of yourself that you're becoming, and really get clarity on what it is that you're doing, because you can't just blindly go for something. Like, you can't just not know. You can't go on a road trip and not have a destination. And then by having that clarity, anytime you come across obstacles, you're having a bad day, your limiting beliefs feel like they're attacking you, that clarity and that goal of where you are and who you want to be is going to push you through those moments and push you to make the decisions that that person would make in that scenario and get you closer to that. So you've got to really think of the vision that you want for yourself at the end of the year, and think of how you want to feel. What does this person's routines look like? What do their emotional states look like? Or how regulated are they emotionally? How do they dress? What skincare do they do? Like, just embody that vision as much as you possibly can, and the obstacles will literally take care of themselves. You will bulldoze through them and you'll become completely unrecognizable. Just please remember, if the 6 months prior were not what they were intended to be or what you thought they would be, they are just a chapter in your life. Okay, they are not the entire story. The whole story is way ahead of you. That was just a little itty bitty chapter in this ginormous book of life, okay? You have so many more chapters, and this next one is completely blank and it's ready to be written. And that's what you're doing in this reflection. You get to write that chapter with clear intention. I'm gonna go ahead and do my own reflection, sip on my coffee, and then we will move into the next step of our mid-year reset. Alright, now that we have reflected, we have gotten real with ourselves, it is time to create a plan that's actually going to get us to that version of ourselves by the end of the year. And not dream about what could be, but actually set the intention and build the structure to make it happen. And here's the thing, a lot of people know what they need to do, but they don't do what they know. So whatever clarity and perspective you got from your reflection, don't just keep it in your head. Actually take action with it and use it to create a plan for yourself. You have to take action even if it's messy, because there is no right time or perfect time to take action except in that moment. You can set your goals for 6 months if you'd like to. I personally like to break mine up into 3 months, which is what I've been doing. If you've seen my other videos, I've been doing the 12-week year, so I've been breaking up my goals within every 12 weeks instead of like a whole 12 months or a whole 6 months. Because 6 months sounds very vague, and I feel like it's just a very long period of time and more excuses and more things can pop up, but 12 weeks is very doable, and it helps me see a finish line so much easier than I would in 6 or 12 months. It creates so much urgency, and it just helps to reactivate my focus on my goals, because I know that I am on a very, very condensed timeline, and I have no time to waste. Versus if I set my goal for 6 months down the road, I can say, oh, well, you know, I didn't work out today, I'll work out tomorrow. Like with 12 weeks, every day is equivalent to 1 week. So if I don't work out one day, I am significantly setting myself back from the goals that I set for myself. If you haven't heard about the 12-week year, I have a couple videos about it on my channel, which I can pop one up here. But basically, it's where you treat 12 weeks as if it's its own little miniature year, but what goals you would set within 12 months, you set them within 12 weeks. So you hit your goals like crazy. I love this because you're not just setting your goals and derailing yourself over the course of a year or just procrastinating them until Q4, but you're actually finishing them or you're getting very, very close to hitting them. What I would do, regardless of how long of the time frame you want to do, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, whatever you prefer, is to break your goals into categories. So I would do no more than 3 to 4, because if you do more than that, you're just going to overwhelm yourself. So I did career, which aka YouTube, I did manifestation, and I did fitness. I want you to think about the goal within that category that you are comfortable hitting. And then I want you to stretch just a little bit past that. When you set these goals, you need to set them where you are stretching yourself beyond what you're comfortable with. Not so far that it feels impossible, but just enough to where it makes you have to grow, because that version of you that you are stepping into, she can hold more. She has a way higher energetic capacity. She follows through. She's expanded. Plus, if it feels too easy, you're just not gonna grow. And the only way to become her is to stretch what you think you're capable of right now. Even if you only hit 60% of that stretch goal, that is way further than what a safe goal would have gotten you. But if it feels too impossible, you won't start. So you really need this little sweet spot where it scares you a little bit, but you're also really, really excited. You are not here to play small, okay? You are here to go big or go home. You are here to make this your year. And I will say, something that is going to really tremendously help you in this is tracking your progress. So I do this a couple different ways if you've seen my previous videos, but I use a planner, I use a habit tracker, and I also use a Notion template. So I can link the Notion template, and honestly I can link all three below in the description box. But this is what I use to see my progress. I like to see what days I'm doing what habits, what percentage I'm out towards my goals. And it just helps so insanely much, because if you don't track your progress, you're not going to have any idea where you are in your journey, and just seeing the progress bar move along is going to be enough motivation on the days where you don't feel like you can just keep going or you're too tired. Seeing that progress bar move more and more is a little dopamine hit, so it's really going to push you whenever you are hesitant to take action. We are only happy whenever we see progress. Whether you put a habit tracker on your phone, you have a whiteboard on your wall, you have a little sticky note on your nightstand, whatever system you can develop that's going to help you follow through on these goals and keep track of your habits and your progress, that is what you need to do, and it is going to be an immense game changer. Plus, it's also a form of accountability, because not seeing the stuff checked off, it is not a happy sight, okay? When you track your progress like this, you are creating the evidence for yourself that you are capable of reaching these goals. And when you create that evidence for yourself, you start to build that self-trust. And therefore, you're going to shift into that identity that you're wanting to shift into, because you've proven to yourself that you can be this person, you can show up for your goals, and you can take action even whenever it feels uncomfortable, and you can do it consistently. So set the goals, make them specific, break them down, and then track the absolute heck out of them. And then you need to start acting like it is already yours. You become her by embodying her now, not just whenever you reach the goal, because your brain is always watching your behavior. So if you are showing up as someone that follows through, who believes in her vision, who keeps her promise, your brain starts to get rewired. Your identity starts to shift, and then it starts to reflect in your reality. So from this point on, before you make any decision, Ask yourself, what would the next level version of me do? And then do that, even if it's uncomfortable. Actually, especially if it's uncomfortable. This is exactly how you close the gap between who you are now and who you want to be. Another way that I love to do this, and it makes it so much easier on myself, and it's just another form of accountability, is creating an action board. So I talked about this whenever the new year rolled around, and I still have my same action board. I keep it on my desk, and I look at it every single day, multiple times a day. I put that thing everywhere, okay? It's very similar to a vision board. A vision board is more so a collection of your goals and inspiration, versus an action board does have pictures of your goals and inspiration, but it also has images of the actions that it takes to get there. So for instance, if you have fitness goals, maybe having a picture of your ideal physique, and then having pictures of healthy food, of working out, of like a little tiny checklist of the things you need to do to get to those goals. So it's almost a roadmap where you can see exactly where the journey takes you. You can see all the things you need to do and then what you get if you do all of these things. And you can go get it printed at any pharmacy like Walgreens, CVS. I just created mine on Canva. It is super easy and I put it literally everywhere. So now that you know exactly what you want this year and you have set your goals, I want to leave you with a couple mind shifts that you have got to make in order to make this second half of the year everything you want it to be. First is to drop the belief that you don't have time. Let's be real, this is a story that we have told ourselves over and over and over again. But time isn't the issue if you're feeling like you're losing time. It's that your priorities are the problem. What is it that you're prioritizing to where it feels like you don't have time for other things? You make time for what matters whenever you raise your standards and you stop negotiating with your excuses. Because if you had the life of your dreams already, you wouldn't be saying that you don't have time. You would be deciding what gets your energy and what doesn't. So stop trying to say that you will find the time and go start creating the time. Secondly is that your future self knows exactly what to do. When you're unsure what to do, stop and ask yourself, what would this future version of me do? And whatever pops into your head immediately is the answer, and that's exactly what they would go do. The version of you that already has the peace, the confidence, the money, she exists already. And you can channel her and embody her through making these decisions like she would. Also, to keep you into this mindset and keep you driven and focused, I want to share with you quickly my favorite nonfiction books to read. You need to pick some kind of nonfiction book or some podcast or motivational videos to listen to or read every single day. So these are the nonfiction books that have completely changed my life. I refer back to them constantly, and these are my best friends. These are my mentors. Honestly, I just want to share these with you because if you're in the same predicament of wanting to be better and wanting to grow, these books are going to help keep you in that mindset and keep you driven and help you shift into that identity of that person that you want to be, because they actually hold you accountable and they tell you the things that you need to hear. Because along this journey, you're going to have other people's opinions, negativity sometimes, and they're just not going to understand. And these guys do. So I'm going to rapid fire my favorite ones. So the first one is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. This book will teach you how to quantum leap. It's very big on manifestation, but it's also pretty scientific in the way that he explains manifestation, because he talks a lot about meditations and how to actually literally how to lose your mind and create a new one. So it's literally how to rewire your thoughts and your emotions to create the reality that you actually want. So this one is one of my favorite books that I have read. Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. So how to take immediate control of your mental, emotional, physical, and financial destiny. This one, she's pretty thick, but it is packed with so many amazing things and so many different perspectives and mindset shifts. If you read this, you will literally see the world completely different. So it does what it promises, and this is one of my favorite books by far. Also, Atomic Habits. Habits are literally the foundation of who you are and your identity. They determine whether or not you are on the path to being the version of yourself that you want to be, or if you're just gonna stay in the past and stay your current self that you're not happy with. He has completely changed the way that I think about building habits, and this book is not overhyped, okay? I know it's everywhere, I know everyone talks about it, but I promise it is for good reason, and no one has broken down habits in this way. So this one is by far a really, really great book if you're trying to build habits and you feel lost. Also, Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. He also works pretty closely with Tony Robbins, but this is really going to teach you how to think like a high-level earner. He talks a lot about their mentality shifts and just breaks it down in a very simplistic way. It's very impactful. I love this book and really think it's something that everyone should read, especially if you're looking to evolve in your career and in your financial area of your life. I also love, love, love Biohack Like a Woman by Aggie Lau. I love this book because she motivates me so much to eat healthy and to make the healthy choices, and helps so much in the fitness aspect of my journey, and I think it'll help you a lot too. And everything in this book is actionable. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg. It's actually, a lot of it is free. But Aggie uses science and teaches you how to work with your body and what you can do to optimize how your body naturally works to be the healthiest that you can be. If you haven't heard of biohacking, you should definitely dive into it. It is just so incredibly interesting. It used to be a very male-dominated field, and she is one of the first ones to really bring it to the forefront for women because our bodies are very different than men's. Anyway, she just really helps you to balance your hormones and your blood sugar levels, how to lose weight, and just will really help you make the best choices for your body because of how it naturally operates. So definitely recommend this one. The one I'm currently reading is Amanda Francis's book. This book will teach you exactly how to release the limiting beliefs you have around money, even uncovers ones you weren't even sure that you had. And she teaches you how to actually manifest the financial abundance that you want by overcoming what's been holding you back. And there's so many journal prompts in here. She just puts things in a very impactful way and very simplistic way, which I really, really love. And I've honestly never read a book like this one. So she's amazing. I'm obsessed with this book. It is absolutely in my top 10. I love it. So those are just my recommendations of what I've read that have really changed my life and my perspective and kept me motivated during the journey of building habits, and even still just working to become the version of myself that I want to be. Those books keep me on track, and what they say are just amazing reminders. There's nothing wrong with going back and referring to the books that have really changed your life, because sometimes, yes, we may have heard something a million times, but maybe hearing it that 1,000,001th time will make it click a little bit more, or just remind you of it, because it can be very easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and in your own thoughts. So having a podcast that you can go to, a motivational video, a book that you can read every single day is really going to make a world of a difference when keeping you on track. That's when I find I do my best, is whenever I'm reading nonfiction every single day. But that is going to be it for our mid-year reset. I so enjoyed spending the day with you and just regrouping to take on the second half of the year and make it even better than the first, and make it one that is completely going to be the pivoting point for our lives, because I truly, truly believe that it can be. So I really hope this video helped you out. I hope it gave you inspiration and the guidance that you need to do that in your own life, and to set the goals and get the clarity that you need to be the most abundant and best version of yourself that I know you can be, and I know that you know it too. So if you tried this coffee recipe and you do this mid-year reset, make sure to comment below so that I know. And again, thank you for spending the day with me. If you did find the video helpful and you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below so that I actually know this was helpful for you. And I am, again, just so excited to take on the end of this year with you. So thank you so, so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.